you the voice modulation.
That's definitely something. So, what would be a way that you would market yourself for someone to find you on Instagram? What's your Instagram name that you use?
Oh, it's Serk33.
Serk33?
Yeah.
No underscores or anything like that?
No.
And the view, that's that where I can view your art and everything?
Yes.
That's cool. So I'm podcasting right now. This is my first podcast that I'm doing here. I usually podcast with a bunch of people, but I figured I have the laptop and the microphone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking use them.
Kind of put two and two together.
So that's what I'm doing here. That's what's going on here. No one knows. I mean, I'm a big fan of the introductions, but honestly, if you're on my YouTube page listening to this, you know who I am. But who exactly are you? What do you want to be known as?
On here or?
I mean, anywhere. Like,
Well,
do you want to be Serk the rest of your life?
It can be, the way I see it, somewhat of almost like a persona type thing, you know? Like when we're talking about meeting clients and then going into business.
So here's the thing. Here's the question. Do you want to be The Rock, or do you want to be Dwayne Johnson? Because I think that's something he struggles with too himself.
Exactly. That's the thing.
For a long time, he was The Rock in this movie. Then he became Dwayne The Rock Johnson in this movie.
Yeah.
And the further he gets away, the more he drops off and just becomes Dwayne Johnson.
I think in the end that's what it comes down to. But as you're going through this transition of whether or not you want to be the regular you or this persona version of you, there's not going to be a balance. You're going to go back and forth no matter what until the very end, whether you decide, oh, I want to be so-and-so, or I want to be who I've always been, you know, my regular name. But I think that's just how it is, and that's what it'll always be if you have these two type of personas, you know what I mean? So, but eventually, it's going to come down to one. But to that day, I'm just going to introduce myself or talk to my certain clientele, people I meet, as Jesse or as Serk, or you know.
So you just pick and choose what name to use it.
And that's best fits the situation that I'm in. You know what I mean? Because I'm not even walk up to like these high-end business people that want this beautiful artwork that has nothing to do with graffiti, like in their studio. But like I say, it's a music studio, and they want this beautiful like artwork, and they don't want graffiti or anything like that. I'm not gonna introduce myself. Oh, hi, I'm just Serk33. You know, I do graffiti and I fucking paint the city and blah blah blah. And I'm not gonna introduce myself that way because they're gonna be like, oh, okay, well that's cool. Like we don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
We like your work because you made this beautiful flower and you fucking did this and that. It has nothing to do with graffiti at all. So, it just depends on who you're talking to and what situation you're in.
Sounds really cool. I like. Seems like you figured it out. You got a good grasp on how you introduce your name.
Yeah.
Like you got a good business model down for yourself already.
Yeah, you kind of have to after meeting a few people. Like, you know, there was the first time where I was younger and I met, like, let's say like a business type person that wanted artwork, and I introduced myself. You know, it's trial and error. You learn as you go. So
yeah,
we all go through it. Eventually you learn. Hopefully some learn faster than others. Some unfortunately don't, but you learn as you go, and I fortunately did learn.
So, graffiti art, kind of. I don't want to say it's where you started because I've kind of always just known you to be a good artist. But I mean, how long you been doing professional art, like for money?
I'd say for about.
Like, when did you take your first real commission?
I think back when I was in middle school, actually.
Middle school.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah,
that was before I knew you.
Before the whole Will and Jazz thing, or a little after?
Yeah, a little after. That was a little after. I mean, I think me and you, we've always had little spurts here and there, but I think it wasn't until about high school we started actually hanging out. getting to know that we were people.
Yeah, I think you're right. But I've always done art, which I found kind of weird because I was younger. I didn't really care for it. It was something I just kind of did, you know, like drew cartoon characters and try to imitate characters like The Simpsons or, you know, Bugs Bunny or, you know, something like that. But as I got older, it was kind of just like, it's whatever, I really don't care for it. So I kind of like stopped doing it. I just wanted to have fun, you know, basically just be a kid and hang out with friends, be stupid, do dumb shit. But it wasn't until high school, I would say, I started actually getting into art again. And it wasn't even really like just art, it was more graffiti. I started seeing graffiti artists around the city. And it was back when graffiti was really, really big. It just came out like, well, in San Antonio, it just kind of got really big, blew up. Everybody wanted to be graffiti artists. Everybody wanted to be famous and do graffiti and get highway spots, billboards, and nothing was really being done about it either. Everyone was just painting everyone. You see, you know, crews and the same names.
It was that the takeover of like when Exit Through the Gift Shop came out.
Was it?
Yeah, I would say first when I seen it. That's once that hit mainstream, like it was pushed in more than just graffiti magazines and graffiti websites. Like it actually hit a mainstream market. I think that's when people wanted to be graffiti artists. And
what year did that come out?
Shit.
I really don't remember when that. I mean, I saw that movie. I want to say like 2 years ago, honestly. So I had never even seen that movie. Like
I don't have an actual date for the release of it. It was when it came out with Netflix, didn't it? I think when it came out.
Did it?
Let's find out.
Like I honestly didn't even know about that movie until about 2 years ago, and I mean I had stopped actually doing illegal graffiti about 3 years ago. I would say, or maybe a little less than 3 years, somewhere around there.
It was 2010.
Oh, wow.
Once it actually became a felony.
Yeah, I guess you could say that, but I started seeing it in a different view. Like, why am I gonna just?
But it was never a thing until people like Shepard Fairey and Banksy started really blowing up.
That is true.
Everybody got into it that it became a felony, and they started prosecuting the graffiti artists as criminals.
I think a lot of it has to do with, I guess you could say, younger kids as they grow up. Not just so much like graffiti artists or just gangs, but everyone just wanting to tag for some reason. You know, Some people might say, yeah, it's Banksy, Shepard Fairey, or you know, like other famous graffiti artists or street artists from like California or New York, because that's people say that's where the birthplaces of graffiti and street art's from. But it's just kind of something that you see as you grow up, especially if you're, from like where we grew up or anything like that. I mean, like when I was growing up, like I would say around my high school years, that's when I saw the graffiti, and I never paid attention to it before until I started seeing these same names over and over. And as I saw them like repetition, they started getting more better, and they started getting more colorful, they started getting more crazier, wild style, bombing, all types of styles of graffiti, and it caught my eye. You're going through your everyday life, you see these fucking plain buildings, and out of nowhere you see this two-tone purple fading to pink with a black outline, white glares, and lime green outage all around it. It kind of stands out. You're like, holy shit, what's that? I want to do that. That looks cool. I already draw. I wonder if I can do that. And there are a lot of kids out there that are like that. Not just kids, adults too. That
just people in general have that.
They want to do it for some reason. I guess it's because I honestly don't know. It's something else.
I'm nowhere in as deep as you. I'm pretty sure there's hundreds of thousands of other people that are way deeper than what I got. Mm-hmm. I got into it based through tattoos. Mm-hmm. There's just a lot of my favorite artists came up through being illegal graffiti writers.
Yeah.
And I was a big believer in not only following, if you see someone doing something you like, don't follow what they do, but look to see what they did to who inspired them to get into it. And I went down that line, and I figured inevitably I was gonna have to get into graffiti, because it's just another style of art you have to pick up.
Yeah.
Especially if you live like where we live. We live on the south side. Graffiti is a big part of what we do as far as art goes.
Yeah.
That's what the demographic is down here. But and you said you stopped doing illegal graffiti.
Yes.
Is it really like a? I think of it as like a Joker from Batman. His mentality of, once you're really good at something, never do it for free.
Yes, somewhat that in a sense, and only because the being charged for the crime now, like, it, in my opinion, it's kind of stupid, I mean, I understand that there is a graffiti problem here, and a lot of kids are doing it, and, it's just become a big hassle for graffiti cleanup to clean it all up, and it's costing taxpayers money and blah, blah, all that good stuff. But the way I see it is, I'm getting older and I would like to continue painting illegally in the streets, but I'd rather not catch case. I work, I have bills and things to pay for. I'm trying to get my degree in graphic design, so yeah, I love doing it, but it's not going to pay the bills in the end. It's not going to get me where I want to go. I mean, it did start off a big part of my art when I was younger, when I started doing graffiti, but I took that and ran with it and took it to the next level of graffiti art and aerosol art, and it's not just illegal graffiti anymore now. I do canvas art and I sell my work at shows and bars and venues, things like that. A lot of people like my work, and I've gotten to know a lot of other artists that do the same type of art as I do, and it's pretty interesting because they all basically have all started the same way. They were into graffiti, and they said, hey, why am I going to do this when I can do this and make money off of it? I mean, some people will call it, that's fucked up, that's selling out, yeah, you can call it what you want, but it's my life. You're not going to bail me out of jail when I'm locked up for a year and my car is repossessed because I didn't make the payments, or I lost my job, or all my other stuff is basically gone to shit because I'm locked up and I can't control anything on the outside,
Yeah.
But the way the city's going, there's really not even a need for illegal graffiti art anymore. So many people are giving away free walls, and so many people are putting up murals and getting graffiti artists to do it. And there's different art shows that are supporting the graffiti style or aerosol art.
And then you're still also going to have people, though, that have that rush to do it. That they just do it for the sake of doing it.
Yes, that is true. When I first started to do graffiti, I didn't see it as artwork or anything of that nature. I saw it as, hey, going out with my friends real late at night, sometimes it's during the day, and we're straight up bombing. We're killing it. We got a couple cans, I want to say like about 12 cans just for, one night, a few hours. And we ain't going home till we're finished our paint. We used to do it 3 times a week. And it's basically just going out in the middle of the night, having an adventure with your friends, going out and struggling to get this one spot that's going to make you fucking famous. All the other graffiti writers, all the taggers, all the bombers, they're all going to see that spot because they all want that spot. But you know what? You got it. In the end, they couldn't climb that giant fence. They couldn't get past that dog chasing you. The cops were circling that spot, and they didn't get it. But you know what? You got it. So it's kind of like a thrill and a rush to, go through all that stuff. It's an adventure. It's fun. Sometimes you run into some crazy shit. There's been times where I run into some crazy stuff as well. Like one time I was on the east side and I was painting, and my friend and I, we actually got shot at, and it was pretty crazy. We had his car, luckily. Somebody was shooting at us. We ran, got in his car, and we fucking sped off. We went to another spot, but I can honestly say I've gotten shot at before now. I mean, I don't want to get shot at, but it's pretty scary,
Getting shot at is one of those things that it's cool to say, and people are like, oh, and some people are like, oh, that's cool. And then in your head, you're like, fuck that.
Yeah,
that was like terrifying.
Yeah, my fucking heart was racing. I was nearly shitting my pants. Like, holy fuck, what the fuck is going on,
Yeah, like, I mean, a split second of movement, and that would be the end of your story. Exactly. You're done.
Exactly. And it was in the deeper east side, too, so I used to paint a lot on the east side, so we used to see, like, all kinds of crazy shit. We used to see crackheads, of course, running around, like, all these junkies, and, sometimes they would be like, hey, what y'all doing? You're like, holy shit, is this fucking crackhead gonna, like, start shit with us, or, like, is it gonna be cool? There's been times where I was hanging off a bridge, and I'm painting, and there's just, I don't know if he's a crack or bum, like a bum, but he looked, like, pretty crazy, and he's like, what are y'all doing? I was like, oh, not much, we're just painting. You leave us alone, we'll leave you alone. And he was kind of like, he didn't care. He's like, all right, shrugged it off. And he let us do our thing. But there's been times where like I was painting on in a ditch. It was a little chill spot. We were practicing on some rollers. Like I was just trying to get straight lines down. You know what I mean? I wanted to do some rollers and get a big spot. This guy comes out of nowhere. Prison tattoos like all over his arm and his neck, and he was running, he was out of breath, and I was like, holy fuck, like this big Mexican guy all tatted up and kind of scary looking. He's all, hey, is it cool if I chill here? My friend and I are like, what the fuck? What do you mean? Like, you really just got into some shit. And we're just like, I guess, like, we don't care, just don't mess with us, we won't mess with you. And he's like, alright. Basically, to sum it all up, he said he got into like, it was like a drug deal that went bad or something.
What the fuck?
And I was all, holy shit, what? He's all like, yeah. He's all, but don't worry, like, I'm cool, I'm not gonna do anything. I just needed to, like, get away. And I was like, alright. So we're continuing our rollers, and I told my friend, like, go quietly inside to him, like, keep an eye on him. So we turn, the guy's gone, we're like, fuck, where'd he go? So he comes around the other side on the ditch, and I'm like, what the fuck? So this guy, I can't stop laughing. I mean, every time I think of this, I'm like, holy shit. This guy pulls out a needle and something else, and he starts shooting up right in front of us in this ditch. And he tells us, hey, that's really cool art they are. You know y'all can make some money off that, right? And I'm looking, I'm like, holy fuck, this guy's shooting up right in front of us. And my friend looks terrified, and I started laughing because my friend looks like really scared. And I'm like, yeah, you know, you can, but we just do this for fun. And he continues shooting up, and he's like, hey, I want some of this? And we're like, nah, man, we're good. We're just trying to paint. And he's like, all right, cool. So he finishes shooting up, and like then he just leaves his needle right there, and it walks off like nothing.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's kind of.
We had some pretty interesting drug people down here. I ever tell you about the time that me and my boy were going to a concert. I think it was like the first time like we actually had a concert that we were going to go on our own. There was no one going with us. I think we were about 17, 18 years old, and we were sitting at a Jack in the Box in a car, and the doors open. We're like the concert was like another hour away, and we're just chilling. We said, "Fuck it, let's kill some time." And this guy just approaches the driver's side door. He tells him, he goes, hey, can I interest you guys in maybe some Vicodin or anything? And me and him look at each other like, this dude's not for real. He's got to be a cop and we're like, no, thank you. He's like, oh, okay, well, God bless. You're like, that is the nicest fucking drug dealer I'd ever seen.
How do you say God bless after offering somebody drugs?
Like you're offering your kids drugs.
Yeah.
But that's the fun drug dealers we have down here.
Yeah. They're a little weird.
I was gonna say, so the idea to start making money off your art came from a meth head, apparently.
I guess so.
A meth head opened the light for you to start making money off art.
Thank God for druggies.
To a point.
Yeah.
So personally, I don't want to. I know as a businessman, this is something people don't really talk about openly because it's usually a contractor and an artist or so and so. But I've seen one piece of art you had go for at least, I think it was $180, about $180.
Maybe.
This was a while ago, so I don't know if it's gone up since then. Cause you're pretty busy. But I've seen you make money off art. And what do you think is more rewarding for you? Getting that spot that no one else was able to get all the way up there at 2 a.m, or someone paying hard-earned money for something that you did yourself? Like they gave you out of their pocket. They work a job that they probably hate to have money, and their thing that they want to do with this money is drop it in your lap for something you created.
They're actually very both rewarding. Like they're really rewarding, both of those. And I mean, I like money. I'm not gonna lie. I mean,
Everyone loves money.
Everybody loves money, but it's really fun going out in the middle of the night, not knowing what's gonna happen, and going out with one of your best friends and getting that spot. You go through so much shit just to get that spot, you know. And it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling. I mean, there's no way to describe it. The only way I can describe that feeling is to go out and do it. That's the only thing I can tell anyone that would want to experience that. It's something else, you know. But honestly, I really don't know. I'd say it's tied. It really is tied. It really is tied because, in a sense, they're both rewarding, you know. And I really can't choose. I mean,
I can see that.
I love doing live painting, like at shows, you know. I love that, and I love people when they come up to me and they say, "Oh my God, I saw when you first started this, and I didn't know what it was. You know, I just saw like a few lines, and then I come back and you're done. It's this amazing, beautiful piece. You know, that's an amazing feeling as well." But I mean, I don't think I could choose. I'd say they're both equally rewarding.
Makes sense. That's a valid answer. That's probably the answer I was already thinking you were gonna give.
Yeah.
I don't think someone like that could choose. That's like choosing which is your favorite child, you know?
Exactly. I mean, like I love that feeling so much of going out painting in the middle of the night, you know, and having fun and all that. I mean, of course I don't do it anymore, but I mean, it's funny. A lot of other graffiti writers or artists have said it's almost like a drug. You always you want to go back, and you have temptations to go back and just do it. I mean, there's times where I'm walking down the street and I'm like, oh, that'd be a really good spot. I wonder if I can paint it. And I'm looking around my surroundings and see how many people are like going through here, you know, and see if a lot of cops come through here, or if somebody would call the cops. And like, I bet you I can paint that spot real quick, especially now that I'm older. I can paint a lot faster now, you know, than what I was when I was younger. And, you know, you tend to think about things like that a lot, you know, so you get that little itch every now and then to go back and want to start doing illegals.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I can't. But it's crazy.
I feel like that you're kind of one of the lucky ones that not even outside of graffiti, just anyone really who wants to do anything out of the norm, outside of the 9 to 5 workspace. I seen your family. They have a very big support. I've always seen them out there when you do a show, when you're in a dank bar, or if you're out, you know, at a good art gallery. They're usually always there. Like, even through your graffiti phase, were they there for you?
Actually, yeah. Like, they've always been very supportive. My mom is actually always been very supportive. My dad didn't really like me doing graffiti. He would get pissed off because I think this is funny. Both my parents, they knew, and they still know to this day, what my graffiti name is. And my dad would get upset when he would see my name in the streets. He would actually sit down right here by Pressa a lot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when they would go to church on Sundays, you know, they'll go to the church, and he would get mad, and my mom would tell me, he would say, "We need to tell your son to stop fucking writing on them walls, he's gonna get in trouble." And my mom would kind of laugh about it. Mom liked it. I mean, this one time, a while back, it was this little lot over here with 18-wheeler trailers.
Okay.
Back when I started, it was getting really big, you know, like, people were painting that area a lot, you know, because you can see it off the highway. So if you're looking off the highway, you just see, like, straight up graffiti. So there was an 18-wheeler trailer there, and it was right in the middle where everyone could see it off the highway, and I was like, that's mine. I'm gonna get it. So I painted it, and I did, you know, I think like a three-tone. It was like a purple to pink to like a really soft pink. It was almost white. You know, like I painted it all up, and I did like double outer gel of like, I think blues on that. I think it was blues with like shines and stuff. It looked real shiny. And on the side of it, I put "Hi, Mom," because I knew she was gonna like eventually see it, you know. And one day she was driving by, or her and my dad were driving by, and she looked, and she saw my name, and she called me on my phone, and I was like, "Hey, what's up?" She's like, "Did you paint those trailers that you were telling me about?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I did." She's like, that was you?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "The purple and the pink and blah blah." "Yeah, that was me." "Did you put "Hi, Mom" right next to it?" And I was like, "Yeah." And as she was telling me all this, I can hear her smiling over the phone. So, you know, it was pretty funny, and I think she got a kick out of it, and like, you know, kind of wondered like, how did he do this and like get these certain spots? Because some of these spots were pretty high, some of them were, you know, like at street level, of course, on buildings and walls and stuff like that. So I think it was more of her like being curious of how I got this and how I've been doing this without getting in any trouble and when am I doing this, you know?
Yeah.
But she never really got after me or told me before. Of course, she was like, just be careful. I know you're going to do it regardless of what we tell you. Just you better be careful. So, I mean, for the most part, she's always been supportive. I guess she just wanted me to be safe about it, you know? My dad, of course, you know, he didn't want me to do it because I would get in trouble, right? Anyone would get in trouble for doing it, so he just didn't want me, I guess, to go down the wrong path. So he would always kind of get after me for that.
That's a cool thing to see. I don't see that often.
You know, I think what it was is because my mom knew I've always been this way. I don't care what anybody tells me. I'm gonna do what I want to do regardless.
Yeah.
Whatever makes me happy, I'm gonna do it. You know, if fucking going outside and carving in trees makes me happy, I'm gonna go carve in some trees. You know, I mean, I don't care what this guy walking on the sidewalk thinks about me. It's my life. You know, I'm gonna do what I want. So.
Which explains the leather jacket and the mullet when you were younger.
I had a leather jacket when I was younger?
Yeah, you had a leather jacket. I remember you had a leather
jacket. I knew about the mullet. I mean, that wasn't my choice, of course. But
the mullet, dude. I missed the fucking mullet.
Yeah, I'm going to bring it back.
You have to.
It's the power of the mullet, dude. It brings great wonders to this universe.
And then, what else? Then we lost touch. I mean, fucking growing up, we kind of just all separated.
Yeah.
Then high school, I remember you got a mohawk.
Mm-hmm. And I still had a leather jacket.
The mohawk leather jacket?
Yeah. Came back.
Apparently you went from a Judas Priest biker to a punker in a few years. But it was a cool transition to see.
Yeah, and now I have an edge up.
And now you got a fade. You got
a line on the side of my head.
You got your little line going on there, and
I had to earn that line.
You have to.
Your
slit. You gotta earn that slit.
Speaking of earning your slit, I heard you had some beef with somebody using your name.
Oh yeah, that's a long time ago. I wouldn't really consider it beef. I would consider it more of like a kid coming up trying to take my name, and when I wanted to battle him for it, he didn't really battle. He wanted to fight me, and I was like, I mean, I could fight you. I mean, I would beat you up like really bad. I mean, I don't want to do that because you're a child, and I couldn't possibly get thrown in jail for child abuse. You know, I mean, I don't want to do that, but. A friend of mine knew who this guy was, and I told him, hey, you know, let's battle for the name. That's the way real writers and graffiti artists do it. And he's like, no, I want to fight you. And I was like, I'm not going to fight you, man. I mean, regardless of even if you've been writing this name, I don't see you anywhere. I mean, everyone sees me, but they don't see you. I mean, yeah, you can make stickers and put them up on stop signs and telephone poles and stuff like that, but I mean, there's a big difference in doing that and going out in the middle of the night and getting highway spots and, you know, getting billboards and getting main streets, you know, fame spots. So 3 times a week, 12 cans each time, you know. So
yeah, it's gonna get expensive after a while.
Yeah.
Especially at that time, I don't think you were really working that much, were you?
Actually, no, I wasn't. I was kind of just saving up money, dude, and just trying to get my supplies.
Saving up money. I mean, it was kind of a drug addiction, you know. You had no real responsibility, just saving up till you get the supplies to get your next hit, you know.
That's all I was doing. Like, it was for like 2 years when I was hitting it really hard, like really, really hard. All I was doing was working, partying, and painting. That's it. It was so much fucking fun. I learned a lot those 2 years. But
and now you're out of it.
Yeah. Now
for anyone who's gonna listen to this later, thinking, well, let me see if we can get some trouble. Someone's out of it, people. He gone legit.
Yeah. Full time. I was actually working 2 jobs. Full time. I was working at the club and going to school and doing art shows.
And now you bought yourself a Mac.
And a car. A brand new car, 2014.
Getting out of the streets.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you're kind of like one of those. It's a shame you had both parents. Because you kind of have a good coming out of the ghetto.
Yeah. Right.
One of those stories.
Right.
You know, you with your art and your dedication,
yeah.
you moved up from the street to a canvas. people call you
That is very true.
for their art needs, and you've bought a car, a Mac, and all your other accessories and
And I
stuff.
paid for school out of pocket.
Oh yeah, out of pocket. You don't have any grants or anything
I
there?
don't qualify for anything, man.
That's because you got both parents, and I keep telling you.
I know, that's the problem.
You should have told your parents to get a divorce.
I'm gonna tell them.
It's easier.
I don't think it matters now, but
Yeah, I mean, you're already done. So
you guys need to get a divorce.
I had to pay for school, so y'all owe me. I want y'all's marriage certificate.
It's horrible.
Good shit.
But yeah.
So we knocked this out for 30 minutes. It was 30 minutes of storytelling.
Wow, really?
Yeah. And I'm totally putting this up.
Dope.
Because, I mean, I liked it. This wasn't what planned at all. This was kind of me just messing with this recording program and my microphone. And, I mean, I think it went pretty well.
I agree.
So what I'm gonna do is, if you have anything you want to say, you wanna promote shamelessly, I think now would be the time to promote. If you want to give a shout out to any of your friends, any of your buddies,
Your Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Yes, actually, you can add me or follow me on Instagram at Serk33. I will have a picture of myself painting a skull on canvas, or you can follow add me on Facebook. It's Serk Pop K. It's OHSERK space POPK, and it's on Facebook.
I'll have the links on the bottom.
Yeah.
I'll throw the links up there. See if we can get you some fans. So we can get you a bigger fan base. I feel like you need a bigger fan base.
So do I.
I don't like the amount of people that aren't going to your show. You get a good amount of people that come to see you, and I feel like you need more.
Yeah. We couldn't hurt to have more.
Never can. I mean, unless they start kicking people out because of you.
Right? We gotta be people.
Oh, man. But I guess I'll end this, and
Wait, what's our next topic for next time? Aliens?
we'll do aliens next time. We'll do some alien shit.
UFOs? Sightings?
I don't think I have many friends that can get down on some fucking alien talk.
What? I can go for hours.
I know. That's gonna be a 2-part. We're gonna have to double up on that one, dude.
I think it'd be like 3 separate shows based on aliens.
We're gonna dedicate a whole channel to our alien talk.
Just call it Mothman and Mothman-like creatures.
Mothman-like creature. I'm gonna say that for the next one, but I'm gonna go ahead and close this one out, and then we'll see what happens next time.